Hi Yogi, welcome to Yoga with Alina, and today we have another tutorial. We're going to talk about blocks. This is so important. If you know me, if you've practiced with me before, you know how much I love my blocks and how much it hurts me when people are not using them because they're scared or because they don't know how to use them or because they think that it's gonna make them feel less or do less or make the practice less effective, which none of the above is true. Blocks are incredible. They are your friends. I cannot stress that enough. And they are your gateway into deepening your practice. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner, if you're intermediate, if you're advanced, it is true for everyone. Today we're going to focus on how to use blocks for beginner practitioners. If you're just in the beginning of your journey and you are not even sure what the blocks are and definitely not sure how to use them, this one is for you. I'll show you how to use, showing in different poses, in a couple of different poses, but also my goal with the tutorial is for you to understand how to use them so that you can use the blocks for any and every pose that you might need and you might come across in the practice. I hope I got you excited enough to stay here for the entire tutorial. So let's get to the mat. I'll see you there. All right, guys, and I'm back on the mat. Tay's here with me to help us figure out the block situation. So first of all, just because this is for beginners completely, these are the blocks. And when you first start a yoga practice, it can be a little bit overwhelming. There are a lot of blocks out there, and we never really know which ones to use, which ones are better. The truth is, the ones that are comfortable for you are better for you. That's the only way to choose them. These are foam blocks, and they're pretty thick, which you can see here, right? There are blocks that are kind of like half a size of that as well. You can find them. They're also foam blocks. I like the thicker ones. You'll understand in just a couple of moments why. Thinner ones, also good, just so that you have a variety. Foam blocks are usually a little bit softer on the body, and again, this is why I like using them. But with that being said, there are these foam blocks that are super soft, and while it can be very comfortable for your back and just to sit on, sometimes they are not too stable. So I like this. I like Manduka as well. And they're also cork blocks. That's another one. When I first started the practice, I loved them a lot, but they're so heavy and I cannot carry them around with me at all. And also they can be a little bit tough on the body as well. So knowing all that, you can pick and choose. With that being said, by the way, cork blocks have some really cool things, cool kind of features, right? Because they're not sliding, they're not flying from your hands or whatever. You can balance on them and you can do really anything. All of these blocks, they have their pros and cons. This is not a block review video. But try it out for yourself. This is just kind of for you to know what's out there. We're using foam blocks, pretty thick ones, and they're pretty stable, not too heavy. For me, absolutely perfect. All right, what do blocks do? Basically, blocks are bringing floor closer to you. So it's the same floor. You have your mat, you have your floor, and you have your blocks. So you can put your hand on the mat, on the floor, you can put your hand on the block. With that being said, blocks have few different heights, right? And this is where the kind of it becomes really important, the shape of the block, right? And the thickness of the block, because this is where you get to pick and choose how high your ground is going to be today. And it doesn't mean that the higher the better or the lower the better or anything like this. You want your hands or your feet, whatever is going to be on the block, to be comfortable there. So if that means the block has to go higher, they have to go higher. There's no way around it. So again, it's just your floor a little bit elevated. Let's look at how we can actually use it. Get into your forward fold. All right, and he's gonna remember himself being a beginner right now. And we'll see how, yes, I love it. Well, you're still a really good beginner. His hands are almost on the floor. Okay, honestly, when I was a beginner, my hands were nowhere near the floor. But the back is rounded, and that's something that happens a lot. And whenever I say in the practice, inhale, halfway lift, what usually happens? To inhale, halfway lift? Yeah, that's what usually happens. And then fold a little deeper. That's what usually happens with beginner practitioners. And that's not bad. But it's also impossible to correct if your hands are hanging and floating in the air. So with the hands on the blocks, grab the hands on the blocks. Now you have some surface to press away from. So let's do it. Inhale, halfway lift. Good. And he gets to straighten his back. And now keep your back straight and fold a little bit deeper, just a tiny bit. There you go. And this may be as far as you go. But just because now you have that surface to push away from, you get to open up your chest and you get to straighten your spine. And this already feels and looks so much better, right? So it doesn't matter how close you are to the ground. He's far away from the ground, right? But it already looks like a proper forward fold. Definitely much better than whatever was happening before. That's because now he gets to have some ground underneath his hands and he gets to get himself into the alignment. And this is exactly what we're looking for from using the blocks. All right, so this is the first way to use the blocks in the forward fold underneath your hands. And this is true for literally all forward folds. Get into pyramid pose really quickly, just as another variation of a forward fold. Yep. Super simple. Same thing, right? So your back might be rounded here. Maybe the hands are not touching the ground. Maybe you're not really stable here. At least I know that I wasn't until my hands were able to touch the floor. And this is where the blocks come into place. Good. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, fold the bottom of the ribcage goes down. Good. And even if, for example, for myself right now, my hands can comfortably touch the floor, but sometimes I literally put my forearms on top of the block, and that's a pretty comfortable move. So once you get over that beginner phase and you get more into the advanced and you just want to chill in this pose, just like I do just like I do sometimes, you can drop down on the forearms, and that is pretty cool. Do you want to try it? Yeah, I love doing it. I just literally chill here. Yep, there you go. All right, that's good. So let's get down on the floor. Let's sit on the floor and talk about more ways to use the block when you're seated. So a lot of times when we sit down, our back is rounded as well, right? And to lift up, you kind of have to slide the hips back. And it's hard to do without a block. The block is going to help with it. Straighten your legs and sit up. Well, not tall, just sit up first. Good. And his posture is really good as well, so he can sit up straight. And that's not the case for everyone. Yeah, exactly. Were you like this in the beginning? No. Or no? Damn it. Okay, he was a dancer, right? Yeah, he was a dancer, so he doesn't understand the struggle of normal people here who were not able to sit up straight and know exactly what I'm talking about. Nice. From here, sit up on the block. Good. And I want you to slide yourself a little bit towards this edge of the block. There you go. Almost like you're kind of sliding out. That's it. Good. And once you do that, your tailbone starts to come out a little bit, and that's going to straighten your back. That's going to help you sit up a little bit taller here, and that's going to elevate. That happens by elevating the hips. And once you elevate the hips, a lot of poses will become way more accessible for you. And it goes for any hip opener. It goes for your double pigeon. It goes for your Gomukhasana, calf face pose. Whenever you elevate the hips, the posers become a little bit more accessible. Good. Let's do the forward fold here as well. Right, so without a block, a lot of times you just round your back, yeah, and just do that. So now slide yourself a little bit off the block as well, and just kind of get a little deeper into this one. You can always, if you start feeling like one block is not enough and you need to sit up a little bit higher, you always have a second block. If you need to sit up even higher, you have a different height of the block. So you get to pick and choose, and you get to create the poses for yourself. It's not that you have to know it from the very beginning. It's not that you have to just pop into the pose. Don't feel pressured into that. You figure it out for yourself and you take time. So what I want you to do is, after this tutorial, I want you to try different poses and try different variations and find them for themselves, so that when you're practicing, when you're flowing through a class, you don't have to stop. You already know where you want to go and you know how to modify it for yourself. Good. Get out of it. Just sit back up. Good. So just like this, you can use blocks for literally every single pose. If you think in terms of the blocks, lifting the floor a little bit closer to you. Whenever you feel that you don't have enough space, just grab a block. And sometimes people say that they have short arms and they cannot lift themselves up. That's actually not the excuse, the short arm thing, but it sounds like it's a logical one. So now you know that if you're using an excuse that your arms are too short and you cannot lift yourself off the ground, you have your blocks, because they're going to extend your arms or simply bring the floor closer to you, and that's when you can do this, right? So any pose where you feel like you need a little bit more to connect your body to the floor, that's when you're using blocks. I hope this tutorial kind of helped you understand the idea behind using the blocks. It was not my intention for you to show the poses and show exactly how to use the blocks, because I don't know your body. You're the only one who knows your body. But I really hope that you understood how to use the blocks and what to use them for. Again, after this tutorial, I really want you to sit down, figure out the poses for yourself, and then get on your mat, get to practice, and have fun with that. Don't be afraid of using these amazing props. They're there for a reason. Thank you so much for staying with me for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. And from my heart to yours, namaste.